At Antelope Park, the animals are on the move. In just 3 days, these lions will be released into a huge semi-wild enclosure, where it's hoped they'll give birth to the program's first generation of truly wild cubs. Although construction of the release site is almost complete, there's one big task ahead.
Obviously, one of the most important aspects for the success of the release site is the presence of prey species on which the release lions are going to sustain themselves. So we brought in a game capture unit to move the animals into the release site, and it's really a huge operation.
With over 100 animals and 3 different species to capture, dozens of staff and volunteers have been brought in to help the specialist game capture team. Moving animals is complicated, dangerous, and hugely expensive. David can't afford to have anything go wrong.
It's early morning, it's now about 7 o'clock, and I've been here since 6, just as the final preparations for this game capture are being put together. The helicopter will fly out and try and find some game and then corral it into this boma, which is sort of a V shape. It's going to be exciting stuff, it's going to be extremely hectic, very noisy, but you know, this is a huge step forward for the release area.
Hey, I need help, guys. I need help.
Flying as low as 15 meters to round up wildebeest, zebra and impala, helicopter pilot Nick Lagrange has one of the most dangerous jobs.
I enjoy this type of flying. It's very challenging, obviously, but you're always doing pretty much what you train not to do. I don't think there's a better job for job satisfaction. I love my job. I've got the best office in the world.
Now everyone's in place, the game capture can begin. Within minutes, Nick locates a herd of wildebeest. Now he skillfully drives them towards the capture site. Helped by the ground team, he forces the animals towards the opening of the boma. When the wildebeest are inside, a siren sounds and the green curtains covering the opening are shut to keep the animals in. The wildebeest are funneled down the boma, and within minutes, the first lot of game have been secured.
The helicopter's gone out and brought the first amount of game in. At the moment, we've got our first set of wildebeest in here. So the game capture crew and vets are currently jabbing them with a mild sedative, which will just chill them out a bit. It all seems nice and calm, so I think it's going well.
A herd of 18 wildebeest is a great start. To minimize stress, they're moved onto a waiting truck and will be quickly taken to the release site.
It's a very short distance. It's only going to take us 10 minutes or so to get to the release area where we can offload this, the first herd that we've caught. Today, it's a bit of a lottery for the animals. Those are the lucky ones that are going to get to live nice and free on Antelope Park with just the youngest cubs to have to deal with. The ones on the truck, they are going to have to deal with our release pride.
It may seem harsh, but in the wild, game animals have to deal with predators like lions, hyenas, and leopards on a daily basis. These animals are fast and well adapted to avoid capture, so in this vast enclosure, they have a good chance of outsmarting the hungry lions.
The first game is now in our release area. We've still got zebra, we've got impala still to do. It's going to be a very long day, but this is a really important moment. This is probably the first time wild animals have roamed on this piece of land for a very, very long time. And of course, that's lion food running off there.
With almost immediate success, the team move on to capture a more challenging species. Impala are nervy creatures and likely to scatter, so the team will have to work hard to keep them together.
This time, I've come inside the boma. I can hear the helicopter has gone up, and we're looking for a herd of impala.
Driven by Nick in the helicopter, the impala head towards the enclosure. The curtain behind them is closed. Able to run at almost 60 miles per hour and jump 10 meters in a single leap, these fast antelopes are difficult to get under control. The team herd the impala toward the next section where David is waiting.
Lost one. Open one.
As he pulls the curtain, one impala escapes.
Go.
But the lone impala is soon drawn back to the herd.
We did our bit. We closed the gate, but one managed to get through before we could get it across. But the gate behind us was closed, so we just had to open it a bit, let it run through, and then close them all in.
The sharp-horned male impala must now be separated to stop them causing accidental injury to the females.
This is one of the most dangerous elements of game capture, when you're dealing with these very fast, very skittish animals with big horns. At the moment, the rest of the guys are inside the truck with the rest of the herd, and you can just hear from the noise that's going on as the impala freak out. There are horns leaping around in there. It's extremely dangerous. This one is now being just pulled to the ground, given a sedation, and rubber being tied around the horns. Without that rubber, this male would thrash around inside the truck and could severely injure the other impala that are in there. Game capture really is one of the most dangerous jobs you can do. These guys are hardcore.
Operations manager Nathan Webb is monitoring everyone's safety.
The horns will go straight through us and impale you, and not very nice. So you have to be careful. I mean, even though they're small, you do have to be careful. All animals are dangerous.
A short time later, the impala join the wildebeest at the release site. The team have worked for 10 grueling hours and caught over 100 animals. Just one species remains: zebra.
It's now late afternoon, and the helicopter had real trouble with this particular capture, just going backwards and forwards, trying to coax these animals into the boma.
The capture of this herd of zebra means the team have finally caught all their target prey species for this first planned game release.
Yeah, it's been going well. We've got just got another 5 zebra, so that makes a total about 11, I think. It's been a long process. It's been step by step every day. We're saying we get a little bit closer, a little bit closer. Now the game's actually in, and it's close. It's going to be good.
The successful day ends years of hard work preparing a natural release site for the Ngamo Pride. David's dream is becoming a reality.
That's a really beautiful sight. It's been a really long day. The sun's going down, the moon's already up, but we've put a whole load of different prey species into this just stunning release area. So this land is now ready for the lions.
The game will be given time to settle. But for now, everything is in place for the Ngamo Pride's journey to freedom. At Antelope Park's release site, the recently introduced game are settling in. Soon, 7 lions called the Ngamo Pride will join them in this semi-wild enclosure in the hope that they'll learn to live independently and breed.
Come.
Having spent an exhausting day catching game for the Pride to hunt, this morning, David Yulden's taking time out to relax with some of his other lions. Before lions can be considered to survive on their own, youngsters go through rigorous pre-release training. By the time the lions are 14 months old, many of them will have made their first kill. But not all lions are natural-born hunters.
Talani, Maggie, come on. Hello.
Meggie lives with her brother, Tulani.
Hello.
Disappointingly, they haven't had any successful hunts, and David is keen to see progress.
This morning we're taking out two 16-month-old lions. It's brother and sister, Talani here on the left, and this is Meggie on the right. And at this age, it's really about when their first kill is going to happen. They've shown some good form, but as yet they haven't quite got it together to actually bring an animal down. What we're seeing as they're walking along, whoever is behind just keeps ankle tapping the one in front. That might look a very subtle and inconsequential event, but actually the ankle tap is a form that they'll use in their hunting later on. They'll run up behind an impala, for example, stick out a paw, trip it over, and then they can catch whatever the animal is. At the moment, this pair have found a nice anthill to sit on, which gives them a really good view all the way down the open flay here. And actually, given the choice, they'll probably would sit here the entire day, just listening to the sounds, picking up the scents that are coming in on the wind. And if something happened to walk through this area, they'd probably give it a bit of a hunt. But it's very much at this age that we expect lions to be making their first kills. Maybe a bird, a mongoose, nothing too dramatic. But once they've got that first kill, it's like something changes in their mind. They're less interested in playing and more interested in seeing what's around. It is an obvious and clear change. Both of them are very keenly looking in that direction, and Talani has decided to go and check it out. What have you seen, boy?
A herd of impala have moved into open ground. The siblings see an opportunity to impress.
Meggie has gone into stalk mode. It's not the most technically expert stalk, but it's pretty reasonable. And what she's doing is banking around the right-hand side. Meggie has actually split this impala herd into two. One part of it has now moved into these trees to try and get some shelter. And Talani is now going for it. Meggie is coming in from the right, and Talani has now got involved and is trying to stalk through the long grass. They have a higher chance of success if they now approach from each side of this impala herd.
Tulani holds his position, and Meggie takes her chance. But she breaks cover too early, and the impala make their escape.
She went for a bit of a charge, and unfortunately, the impala had a head start. But she got reasonably close. That was some good stuff from her. Some good stalking. She got up to speed on the chase, and if she keeps doing that, one day she's going to be successful.
David's encouraged by what he's seen today. Maybe soon Meggie and Tulani will get it right. But before they can be released, these playful youngsters will have to prove that they can fend for themselves. The time is fast approaching when the 7 female lions of the Ngamo pride must survive alone. Tomorrow, they'll be released. There's one last chance for David to check on the introduced game at the release site.
Well, I've driven through the middle of the site, and they all seem nice and calm and settled in this site. So the only thing now is to check in on the water hole and just make sure that all of these animals are finding the water sources that we've put for them in this site.
The signs are good. The game have remained in family groups, and in this natural environment, they'll breed and provide the pride with prey to thrive on.
Well, the water hole has filled up really nicely, and we can see that the animals are starting to use this water hole. It's looking good.
The game have settled well, but with just hours until the big release, there's a serious problem that's about to put the lion team to the test.
Come on, Gilly, come. Nala, come.
It's around about 10:15 at night, and we've come up to the holding enclosures of the Ngamo Release Pride.
Come.
And this evening, we are going to be putting collars onto each of these lions. It's the final step before they get released.
It's vital the Ngamo Pride are radio collared, so they can be tracked after release. But due to problems importing the needed anaesthetic, it's only just arrived. The release can't be delayed,
Come, Nala, come on.
so the team are going to have to work through the night.
Okay, Nani is through.
First task is to separate the lions into two groups that will be easier to handle.
Come on, Gilly, come.
With 3 females in a separate enclosure, the veterinary staff make a plan. Doses of anaesthetic must be precisely matched to the weight of each lion, and everyone must be alert for any sign of a dangerous reaction to the drug.
I'm a little nervous. There is a danger for these lions. We've had cases where lions have not woken up from the sedation, but we put our trust into the vets and the team that we have here that everything will go well.
Even for experienced vet, Dr. Sundasiwe Gumbo, this is a difficult challenge.
To be honest with you, it's my first time to have dated these lions during the night. But if you start panicking, everything goes wrong. You just have to be in control of the situation.
Because the lions have been darted before, they're wary. So lion manager Leanne Marnock has a plan.
We've got a piece of meat to try and coax them closer, and then we'll try and get them to the corner, and hopefully their attention will be on the meat and not on the pulse range itself.
Come on. Come.
We're going to go for Narnia, because she's the skittish of all of them. Because if we do the other two first, it's going to alarm her and she'll stay away.
Come on.
David helps attract Narnia to the edge of the enclosure.
Come to us, Dave.
With one lion darted, the others are cautious, but David knows them well and keeps them close to the fence.
Charlie's done.
Yes. Go to sleep.
Soon, Kwali is darted too,
Hey, Kenge.
leaving the most difficult lion until last, because Kenge's old collar must be replaced.
Come on.
Kenge is too smart for this.
Come on.
Kenge might be a bit of a problem. Hey, Kenge.
Focused on the offer of food, Kenge is finally caught off guard. In a few minutes, they'll all be asleep.
These lions, this particular pride is so special. This is the first group of our lions that are going to breed and produce the cubs that will eventually get released into the wild. They are the pioneers for this program. So we want all of them to come through this and to be able to be released and experience the life out in a wild environment.
The team must move fast before the lions wake. Radio collars are fitted, blood samples will be tested for any signs of disease, and measurements are recorded.
Pad height 5.1, back width 10.8.
After each lion is collared, a reversal drug is administered. The rush is on to move the lions back to their enclosure before they wake.
You're dealing with lions, obviously, and the safety of the lions is priority. We've got to get them through it all together, and then the safety of us. We've got to make sure that we don't get hurt in the process, and it's got to be clear all around.
But as Kenge is moved to the adjoining enclosure, Narnia surprises everyone by unexpectedly waking up.
Okay, go. Narnia, who was first to go down, was the first to wake up, even a couple of minutes sooner than we thought she would. And we still had to push Kenge into the next enclosure, so it was close, but fine.
Fire, come on.
A few minutes later, and all 3 lions come round safely. Now just 4 lions remain, and David is anxious to complete the job.
The others are wise to our ideas and are really not playing ball at all. I think it's about 2 o'clock in the morning, which means we've been going for approximately 3.5 hours or something. I'm very, very tired. And frankly, I've been ready for bed for quite a while now. And I also know that I have to get up in about 3 hours. So it's a very long night.
With just an hour until sunrise, the last lions are collared, and David's ready to say goodbye to the final female, his favourite, Fire.
This is the last time I'm going to get the opportunity to be this close to Fire, the cub I raised right from the get-go. And she's absolutely beautiful, and a huge privilege to have got to know in a way that other people never will.
At dawn, the Ngamo Pride will get their first taste of freedom.
In just a few short hours now, they're getting released. And that's what this programme's about. We've done everything for these lions that we can. We've prepared them, looked after them, their welfare. We've given the opportunities to them to learn what they need to survive out in a wild environment. And tomorrow they're going to get to do that.